श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मुक्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भं शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। So looking at verse number 12. दिनयामिन्यौ सायं प्रातः शिशिरवसन्तौ पुनरायातः कालः क्रीडति गच्छति आयुः तदपि न मुच्यति आशावायुः. So previous verse, Shankaracharya talked about how not to give too much importance to me or relatives in high places or one's own youth. How to be objective about it. So that was what was talked about in verse number 11. Ma kuru dhana jana yavvana garvam harati nimeshat kalas sarvam. Because all of this is very short-lived. Wealth is short-lived. The maximum it can last is one's lifetime. But there is something after death also. So that is more important than this short-lived wealth that we earn in this lifetime. Because we have to leave everything behind at home. And jana, not to take too much pride in one's own relatives or one's own connections, and pride in having being connected to people in very powerful places, or networking in the modern parlance. And yauvana. Yauvana is youth. Dhana jana yauvana garbham harati nimeshat kalaha sarvam. Maya mayamidam akhilam buddha. Having known the whole creation as just an expression of Maya. Maya Maya. So that which is very momentary, that which is not non-existent, but very momentary in nature. Because we usually tend to give absolute value to the world outside and try to hold on to it and obsess over it disproportionately. Whether it is my own body, youth, or the appearance, and anything that arises out of the identification with this body. Relationships, wealth that I possess, etc. It's all momentary. Brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditva. So having known the absolute reality, be engrossed in that. Just revel in that all the time. So having that at the back of one's mind. So first spending time in gaining this knowledge, and then revealing naturally takes place. Once this is well assimilated, it's not theoretical. See, if it is theoretical, then one doesn't revel in the knowledge. But if it is well assimilated, then it's very enjoyable. So you enjoy every moment of this knowledge. And then verse number 12, he says, don't waste time for getting this knowledge. Because time flies. Time flies very fast. And if you put it off for later life, then it is a tragedy. So start right away. We don't even know whether we will be around to pursue it later on in our life. Hopefully we'll be around, but there is no guarantee. So dina yaminyau sayam prataha. So day and night, sayam prataha, evening and morning, shishira vasantau, spring and winter, winter and spring. In this manner, kalaha kridati. Time has its own play, its own way of playing with us. Gachati ayu, but consequently one ages. Tadapi na munchati ashavayu. So why should one get this knowledge early? Is because slowly one tries to reduce the obsession over desires. If one does not consciously work towards it, then the obsession only increases. The obsession never reduces. So it manifests in different ways. So one needs to work on this obsession over this endless list of desires. What all I desire, whether it is small or big. If it is small, then it can be satisfied, fulfilled, and then forgotten. If it is big, then it is a long drawn effort. And when it is a long drawn effort, then the mind is captured in that effort. And the mind is not available for gaining knowledge of the truth, gaining knowledge of the reality. Kalaha kridati gachati ayuhu tadapi na munchati asha vayu. So the earlier one starts, the better. Don't waste any more time. Already so much time is lost. So much time is wasted. Like they say, no? So when is the best time to start? It's yesterday. So already one day is wasted. So you should have started yesterday. So at least start right now. So here starting means preparing that mindset to be not distracted by anything else. Because only when you start thinking in your mind, then that commitment comes. That conviction takes time. Anything new you want to start, first the mind has to be convinced about it. And then only you start doing something about it. So for us to really make that effort, the mind has to be trained first. And when the mind is trained, you will naturally start doing it. So that's why it's better to start right away. So this is verse number 12. And verse number 13. So with verse number 12, Shankaracharya's compositions are over. Now each of his disciples composes one verse, one by one. So the first one is supposed to have been composed by Padmapada, one of Shankaracharya's foremost disciples. So let's read the verse. Kate kanta dhanagata chinta vatulakintavanasti niyanta त्रिजगति सज्जन संगति रेखा भवति भवार्णवतरणे नौका काते कांता धनगत चिंता वातुलकिंतव नास्ति नियंता त्रिजगति सज्जन संगति रेखा भवति भवार्णवतरणे नौका भज गोविंद भज गोविंद Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. So here he is just repeating the idea that Shankaracharya himself expressed in one of the verses. So Kate Kanta Kaste Putraha, we saw it earlier. So who is the person whom you call wife? And so much importance you give, so much you obsess over that person. Same idea is repeated here. Kate Kanta. Why are you obsessing so much over your spouse? So he says wife. It can be husband also. So both are waste of time. So obsessing over wife or obsessing over husband. So this is not to say that one should not care for one's wife or husband. But carefully said, this obsession over one's spouse, that is a waste of time. So some people, there is even a word for that in English. If a husband obsesses over one's wife, then he's called henpecked. So he is just like a slave to his wife. He's always obsessing over her and does whatever pleases her. That's why here he says, don't waste your time on obsessions like that. Kate kanta. And then dhanagata chinta. Obsessing over your own money, whether it is already accumulated wealth or the money you want to accumulate. Either of that. If it is already accumulated wealth, then you're thinking of how to invest. So where should I put my money so that it gets the maximum rate of returns, maximum rate of interest. So this is a big problem, because once you have money, then you want to multiply it. So you invest in the stock market. So make fast money. and you lose money fast also. So you can make fast money, and in fact, you lose money faster. But whole day you have to keep looking at the monitor. So which stock is going up, what is the call, and then buy that stock. And then if it is a sell call, sell that stock. And all of it you have to do. It's very time critical. If you don't do it immediately, then you will lose, or you won't get what you might have got. So morning to evening, your mind is completely occupied. And these people who are retired also do the same thing. They have earned money after 60. Then they start investing in the stock market. Because until 60, they were making money doing a job. But after 60, so you want to multiply it through the stock market or other means, or buy property. People, if you have a lot of money, people buy three properties, four properties. I think that's the most stupid thing to do, to buy multiple properties. The stupidest thing to do. And the justification people give is property gives maximum returns. But then you have to maintain the property. You need a good tenant. And tenants also you have to change in India at least. You have to change every year or two. Otherwise, they have a claim over your property, especially in places like Mumbai, Maharashtra. So you cannot keep a tenant for too long. So you have three properties, four properties. So all your time is occupied only in um, increasing the value of your property, getting rent, and then whether the rent is credited or changing a tenant. All of this is included in Dhanagata Chinta. An intelligent person would have only one place to live. You need a good place to live and comfortable place. And the maximum you can use at one point is only 6 by 3 for lying down. And okay, you need a little space for moving around. So that is all you need. So why do you need three properties, four properties? And then spend all your time thinking. That is exactly what Padmapadacharya is saying. Dhanagata Chinta. So if at all anyone has multiple properties, my opinion is just sell it. Have one good property for living. So having two properties, three properties, it's a complete waste of time. There are better things to do in one's life than just waste time on this. So Dhanagata Chinta, Vatulakim Tava Nasti Niyanta. So he says Vatula. Vatula means one who sets world record in foolishness. So one who is the greatest fool. So competing to be greater, more foolish than other people. So that is the meaning of Vatula. So Vatula Kim Tava Nasti Niyanta. So our Kim Tava Nasti Niyanta. त्रिजगति सज्जन संगतिः एका भवति भवार्णव तरणे नौका. So in the three worlds, Trijagati, Sajjana Sangatihi Eka. So only the association with wise people is the best boat for you to help you cross this ocean of samsara. Sajjana Sangatihi Eka Bhavati Bhavarnava Tarane Nauka. Nauka means boat. And then Sajjana Sankati. Earlier also, Shankaracharya pointed out. Satsangatve Nissangatvam, Nissangatve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nishchalatatvam, Nishchalatatve Jivan Mukti. So Satsangatve Nissangatvam. To keep one on track, Satsanga is extremely important. So, and before that, Kim Tava Nasti Niyanta. So, is there no one to control you? Why are you just wandering about so recklessly? So, in Dhanagata Chinta or obsessing over one's spouse, so is there no one to control your recklessness? Just seek the company of wise people, because that is the only boat to help you cross over this ocean of samsara. Bhavarnava means this ocean of samsara. Bhava means samsara. Bhava is another word for samsara. So Arnava is ocean. So Bhavarnava is ocean of samsara. Tarane, for crossing over this ocean of samsara, this is the only means for you. So again, stressing upon the importance of the company of wise people. So company also means learning. Company doesn't mean just conversing, talking. Company also means learning, because when there are wise people around you, keep wise people around you, then your mind is more inclined towards spirituality. So like they say in English, you are what defines you is the company that you keep. So the kind of people you associate with. So if you are always associated with people talking about money, then your mind will also be thinking only about money. You are associated with people who are talking about politics all the time, then your mind will also be in that direction. So you are in the company of wise people, then your mind is channelized. So that is why here also he advises that one should seek the company of wise people and keep in touch with this knowledge. In other words, this would also mean regular study, systematic study. See, the reason we are having these classes is because it is good to get this pursuit into one's regular routine. At least you allocate 1 hour a week. Start with 1 hour a week. And you stick to that. Then regularly, every week, your mind gets tuned. Then the amount of time your mind thinks about it increases. So you can allocate some time every day for this and slowly increase the time spent on this pursuit. That is what is the real purpose of satsanga or sajjana sangati satsanga. Both are the same thing. This is the real purpose. So he says this is the only way. There is no other way for you to keep your mind in check. Sajjana sangatihi eka bhavati. So that is the only way, and there is no other way. If you are really interested in finding a solution to the most fundamental problem, if you are not interested, then there is no problem. But if you are interested, the problem is there, whether we are interested or not, the problem is definitely there. So whether I recognize it or not is immaterial. The problem of that I'm confused is very obvious for every human being. Some people may look really sorted. They know exactly what they are doing. Good for them, but that will last for a certain duration. And then after some time, they will also start questioning. There is no person other than a Brahmajnani who is sorted all the time. So if one wants to be sorted and one wants to be at peace with one's life, be, be clear about what is to be done. Then Sajjana Sangatihi Eka Nauka. Sajjana Sangati is the only boat. Association with wise people is the only vehicle that helps me cross over. And we'll move to the next verse. So this is an interesting verse. Verse number 14. Jatilo Chitakeshah Kashayambara Bahukrita Veshaha Pashyannapi Chakna Pashyati Mudhaha Yudara Nimittam Bahukrita Veshaha Jatilo Chitakeshah Kashayambara Bahukrita Veshaha Pashyannapi Chana Pashyati Mudhaha Yudara Nimittam Bahukrita Veshaha. So this verse is criticizing fake renunciates. So people can be fake. Everyone can be fake. So there are fakes everywhere. But fake renunciates also are there, and that is a fact. So it's in probably they were supposed to have been. So all these verses are supposed to have been composed in Varanasi. So Varanasi is a place where you find lot of sadhus. people in occur. And Rishikesh also. You go to Rishikesh, Haridwar, so you find so many sadhus. Number one, it is inspiring also to find so many people. And there are a lot of genuine people. So just because some people are fake, so then one need not dismiss the whole community as such. Because there are a lot of genuine people who have given up everything. Still, people do. So people just give up everything and land up in Rishikesh with absolutely no money. Just think of it. So even we didn't do it. We were all lucky because there were already institutions to go and study. But there are people who have the courage to just quit everything, throw away, in fact, burn your bridges, and then go to Rishikesh or Haridwar, really sincerely seeking this knowledge. That is why when people go to Haridwar or Rishikesh, so they offer Bhandara. Bhandara means the ashrams call a group of sadhus and they are fed lunch. Generally, it is lunch only. Bhandara is lunch. And after lunch, they are given some dakshinas, some money as offering, because they have given up everything and they have committed their lives for it. So you give them some money for their essential needs. So previously, people used to give 50 rupees, 100 rupees. Nowadays, people give 200, 500. And if the person is really well to do, even 1,000 they give. So give them 1,000 rupees. And then very, very respectful. See, that is the respect people have for this knowledge, in India at least. Nowhere else it is there. So anywhere else, in any other country, you say, I'm pursuing spirituality, so please support me. No country will support you. So you might be on social security. So you might get some regular money to feed yourself, but people don't really support you just because you are pursuing spirituality. So India alone, you will find that. Indian subcontinent. So where we have this kind of culture. But because it is there, there are people who take advantage of this also. So like in other holy places also you find. So all these beggars are wearing orange. So and they're actually they what they're doing is only begging. They're not studying anything. They're not doing anything. So begging for alms. Then why do you have to wear orange? It is just fooling people. So you can just wear some other cloth. So orange, really the cloth signifies um, knowledge, signifies fire actually, represents fire. Orange represents fire and fire represents knowledge. So if you are wearing orange, then it means you are committed to this pursuit of knowledge. So if a person is just begging, then there is no necessity to wear orange because orange stands for something else and you're just fooling people. But people do that in Rishikesh, Haridwar, Varanasi. So these people must have seen some people doing that. So this verse is attributed to Totakacharya. So another disciple illustrious disciple of Shankaracharya. So don't use the ochre to fool people. This is cheating. So he says jatila, not just occur. Some people grow very long hair. So jatadari. So jatila. And sometimes you wonder also how this person can maintain this hair. There are some sadhus who have hair extending for meters because they have never cut their hair. So they just circulate on their head, hair on their head, and then so that itself gives you a height of another 1 or 2 feet. So such people, jatila, and there is a way to maintain hair also. To maintain that kind of hair, mat it. So matted hair. So there is a process because you cannot wash your hair every day. So that's a huge time-consuming effort. So you have to mat your hair and then forget about it. So that person who has matted hair, that person is called a jatilaha. And then there are some people who are completely shaven. So that's a better way of living. Because why do you have to maintain hair when you can just take it off? Generally, most people, they take it off, and that also has a symbolic meaning. Taking off hair has a symbolic meaning. The symbolism is that the number of hair on your head that represents the number of desires you have. So shaving off your hair, it symbolically means that you are giving up desires. That is what it symbolically means. And all this is only for men. Because some women also get too enthusiastic and try to do this. So it is unnecessary. This is just a symbolism. In ashram, sometimes people go overboard. So they become over enthusiastic. So I want to give up all my desires. So let me shave my head. It doesn't mean once you shave your head, then the desires will go away. So wish it were so automatic, but it doesn't go away like that. So there are sadhus who shave their head and tonsure their head and give the impression of being very sincere. So really not sincere inside, but giving the impression of being sincere. So that is the person who is criticized here. So the idea is that one has to be truthful and sincere to oneself. That is the whole idea. So mundi, and then lunchita kesha. There are some people who also take it up as a penance to pull the hair out one by one. Can you imagine? These Jains do that. So pull out the hair one by one. So go through that pain so that you get complete vairagya. So that person who pulls out hair one by one is called a lunchita kesha. Those people are also very sincere. See, all these people are not charlatans. The Jains are very sincere. And he's not criticizing Jain monks, by the way. So he says someone may do that, and then we will have to wait for the conclusion a little later. So Kashayambara Bahukrita Veshaha, and then wearing ochre. ochre or orange, whatever. Ochre is slightly different from orange. Ochre is not the same as orange. But nowadays we wear orange also. So in Hindi, it's called Gerwa. Gerwa is slightly different from orange. Another advantage of wearing ochre or orange is that it doesn't get dirty very easily. So at least in olden days, it was an advantage. So if you're wearing white, then it gets dirtied easily. But if you're wearing orange, you don't get, uh, it doesn't get dirty. See, like all these workers on the highway, they will always be wearing orange jacket, not any other color jacket. One is there it is not because it doesn't get dirty. There it's because it is most visible. So you can spot the person from a distance and not ram into him. So if someone is working on the road, then the person should be visible. So orange also helps in that regard. So like when you're wearing orange, you get spotted very easily. It stands out, very clearly stands out. And as I said, orange is also the color for knowledge, which symbolically represents knowledge. That's why all renunciates wear orange. Kashayambara bahukrita veshaha. Kashaya ambara. Kashaya means ochre. Ambara means clothes. Bahukrita vesha. Different kinds of clothes of the same color. Some people wear it like a kurta, some people wear it like a shirt. So you can wear it like a t-shirt. Or you just have an angavastram. So just wrap a cloth around you. So there are so many different kinds. So kashayambara bahukrita veshaha pashyannapi cha na pashyati mudhaha. So even though the person has opportunity to really get rid of the ignorance, but still does not see it. Pashyan apicha na pashyati. So you are seeing it all the time. Like if you're living in Rishikesh or Varanasi, then you're surrounded with this, with people teaching this everywhere. And to be really immune to all of this while living in that place really takes some effort. So one has to be made of a completely different material to be immune even while staying in that place. So here he says, even though one has the opportunity to see, then also one doesn't see. Why are they doing all of this? Udara nimittam bahukrita vesha. So here Totakacharya says that all this is meant only for the sake of filling up one's stomach. So a person who has enough, that person would not be cheating like this. So only a person who wants some free food without doing anything, just by idling away, you go to Bandaras. See, there is no way of distinguishing people who are genuine and distinguishing people who are, from those who are not genuine. It is very difficult. If you stay with them for some time, then you can find out. But Seeing for the first time, it is difficult because some of them, you stay there in such places. Over a period of time, they also learn to talk very nicely. So they pick up some jargon from here and there. So Atma, Brahman. So everything is the Atma. So so they talk, they learn to speak like that. So when a person speaks like that, then it is even more difficult for you to find out. So the person might talk about sadhana chatushtaya. So because he's heard about it, he's hearing about it all the time. Every day you keep hearing those words, then automatically it gets registered. And then some of those people, what they do is they pick up some jargon and they create a school of their own. There are some, they get some followers, and then that becomes a source of making money. That is what is meant here also. So why are you doing all this? Why are you fooling everyone? So that you can monetize it. So you can make money out of it. So that is not what it is intended for. So hi udara nimittam bahukrita veshaha. So it is all effectively or eventually meant for the sake of filling one's stomach. All these different attires. So here, even though the fakes are criticized, the person who is criticizing is also one belonging to the same community. So it has to be understood. So Padma here, Totakacharya, that person is also wearing ochre because Shankaracharya only instituted this order of monasticism. So that person is saying it with a certain, for a certain purpose. Be sincere and truthful to yourself without without fooling yourself and others. So one may think one is just fooling others. But here Totakacharya says one is really fooling oneself because your life is what is being wasted. So you may be able to get some food, get some good food also. Some bandaras, they give very good food. So you get sweet and so you get very nice meal. Puri you have, sabji you have, and then they give you rice, dal. So that's the usual menu. So and then sometimes you have a sabji, paneer sabji. So you have a full course meal. So you may end up getting good meal here and there, but really you are fooling yourself if you are not being sincere and truthful. So that is the whole idea. And then also indirectly asking, is this what you have given up everything for? Because those days, it is not like today. If you want to go to Varanasi or Haridwar, you cannot reach next day. You have to walk. So that's a lot of trouble. So you have taken so much trouble to walk all the way to one of these places. And people generally, most people do not start with the intention of being insincere. Everyone wants to be sincere. But somewhere down the line, you lose focus. So here, Totakacharya only wants to bring back those people on track, not condemn them, not be judgmental about them. This is also not being judgmental about them, but only bringing them back on track. Is this what you, I mean, is this why you left your home? Is this why you left all your possessions? Is this why you left your relatives and coming here and wasting your time? So please don't do that. So this is a sincere appeal to such people. And then the next one is attributed to Padmapadacharya. So I think in the beginning I said the earlier verse was attributed to Padmapada. No. So this one is earlier one. Jatilomundi is attributed to Totakacharya, and this one, next one is attributed to Padmapadacharya. So we'll read verse number 50. Same ideas continue, but for a different type of people. Angam galitam palitam mundam dashana vihinam jatan tundam vruddho yati grihitva dandam tadapi na munchatyasha pindam angam galitam palitam mundam dashana vihinam jatam tundam वृद्धो याति गृहीत्वा दंडम तदपि न मुञ्चत्याशा पिंड. So here the target are these old and very weak people. So those are the people. Again, not to be criticizing, but just to impress upon them and bring them back on track. So that is the idea. Angam galitam palitam mundam. So angam here, the body, galitam, it is worn out. And palitam, and hair has turned gray. It means, palitam means a hair looks bleached. Because when it turns gray, it looks bleached. So your hair looks bleached. Mundam, sometimes it has gone bald also. And dashana vihin, and your teeth have fallen out. Dashana vihin. Jatam tundam. So dashana vihinam jatam tundam. So the mouth has become toothless. Vruddhaha yati grihitva danda. And you can't even walk without crutches. So you're walking on crutches. You're walking with a walking stick. So vruddhaha yati. So vruddhaha means old man. Yati moves grihitva dandam. So nowadays we have very fashionable walking sticks. But old days it was just a stick for you to support yourself. Grihitva dandam tadhapina munchati asha pindam. But still your desires don't seem to weaken. So the whole theme is to give up desires. That is the thing. Earlier verse also, not earlier verse, the one before that, verse number 13. No, not that also. Verse number 12. So, tadapi na munchati asha vayu. And stresses upon that again. Angam galitam palitam mundam dashana vihinam jatam tundam vruddho yati grihitva dandam tadapi na munchati asha pindam. So even though you have lost everything, lost all your marbles, still your desires don't seem to reduce. You are always making a list. So when everything has gone, as they say, you make a bucket list. Earlier it was just a list, but when you grow older, you make a bucket list. So before I die, I have to do all of this. So why don't you put some sense into your head? That is the idea. Because the older people get sometimes, then the people have stronger desires. Because they think there is not much time left, and so you have to fulfill it faster, satisfy those desires faster. And also push other people. Say, I don't have much time, so you need to help me fulfill my desires. Fundamentally, that person has a problem of recklessly desiring. But then, so pushing other people to help this person satisfy or fulfill his or her desires. So this is absurd. So this is ridiculous. So that's why wisdom is not a natural consequence of old age. Just because a person grows older, you don't expect the person to become wiser, even though ideally it has to be like that. Most old people, we look around. So we only learn what not to do from what they do, not what we should do from what they are doing. So they are only teaching us what not to do with our lives. So their priorities and then their mindset and the way they look at their lives. So sometimes it's very sad and very depressing. So here what Shankaracharya says, no, what Padmapada says is that don't be recklessly desiring even when you get older. So time is less. There is not much time left. At least now, please spend your time wisely. So that is the idea. We'll stop and then we'll continue. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om